What's going on, guys? Jay here, Live Vape and Chill, LVC Reviews, Vape Finder Reviewer. How we doing today, you lucky people? This is the second one in 2 days. Oh yeah, feel privileged. I had a little bit of time and I thought I need to get these reviews out there. So today we've got the second installment for the RevTech mods. This one today is for the Nitro. Yes, so I'm going to take you down low. We're going to have a look at the packaging. We're going to have a look at the mod, and I'm going to talk you through it a little bit, and then we're going to bring it back up top, and then we're going to hit it up, and let's see how it performs, and then I'll give you my verdict, as always. So, here we go. Without further ado, let's get ready to take you down low. So, here we go. We have got the RevTech Nitro here, 200 watt mod. This one, it's got the same chipset as the Sport, which is the Venom 1.1. So yeah, this is the packaging. Pretty much very similar to the Sport packaging, as in like with the way in which the sleeves on the box and the color coordination of the mods on there. Tells you everything that you need to know on the back. REV Nitro, it is a 200 watt mod. It is the black, white on black. You got your package contents here, you got your specifications. Let's see if this stuff will focus today. Oh, there we go, and it is working, all sort of. So yeah, we've got all the relevant markings that we see on most of the products nowadays. We've got the barcode, the batch number, we have the social media links for RevTech mods. Let's see if it will focus. There we go, RevTech mods on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And you've got the importers details on there and the manufacturer's details. So that's pretty much it. That's the sleeve, pretty much standard, straightforward. So let's get into the box. Again, with all these boxes that they do with the RevTech mods, they are quite quirky. The lids open up like a bonnet, and inside you are met with, again, the key ring with no keychain. You have to supply your own keychain. It's minor. You've got the quality assurance check thing. We do have somewhere, but I have misplaced it. I know, very shit of me, but I have misplaced it. We do have the user manual, but it's quite straightforward. It's very much similar to the Rev Sport. So also inside the box we have the charging cable, which is USB-C, quite thick, quite good quality. So this is the charging cable and the firmware update cable. That's what that's used for. From what I believe, they are firmware updates on their website. Very nice packaging, very clean inside there. So with this one, unlike the Sport, you don't have any grills or anything like that inside there. So this one is just quite a standard mod without any other flippy bits that you have to take off. Unlike the Sport, this one is 218-650 batteries that go inside there, with a little flappy door on there. There we go. It's a slightly different shape, obviously, to the Sport, because it is a different mod, but the screen's kind of the same, which I'm a little bit disappointed about, but nevertheless, we're going to go through the review. So you have your firing button at the top, you have your control buttons up and down here, you have your customization for the dials, changing the color of the dials there, and also this doubles up as enter menu and exit menu function button when you push it. You have the USB-C charging port, you've got some vent holes on there, the battery door is at the bottom, slide and it pings up. There's not a lot of resistance behind that, if I'm honest, but we'll get into that in a little while. On the back, pretty much similar to the front but without a screen. So you've got the RevTech logo there. These I'm supposing, because they're like based on cars with their names like Sport, Nitro and GTS, these are to replicate like car dials, like speedometers, tachometers and stuff like that. So yeah, there is only one set of battery vent holes on this one, which is here, but you can see in there. So there is a nice place to vent there. Same as the Sport, we have the stainless steel 510 ring on the top with the spring loaded 510 pin, as you can see. Let's see if it will focus. There we go. Oh no, there we don't go. I'm just crap at this focus malarkey. I think it's this camera needs sorting out at a different angle, but oh, there you go. Come on. Anyway, it's a 510 spring loaded pin. As you can see, there's quite a lot of play in there. It doesn't take a lot of pressure to push down, but it does move quite a way, so it is very adaptable. So yes, here we go. There is a bit of a shaky thing going on there. I don't know what that is. Don't know if you can hear that, but there is something loose and rattling in there. In my personal opinion, that's the sort of thing that will get on my nerves, but nevertheless, let's go through this. So to turn it on, same as before with the Sport, 1 2 3 4 5, and it's on. You're met with the Nitro logo. Advanced or basic user, we're going to click advanced, and there we have it. Exactly the same screen, same layout, same design. I'm quite disappointed, to be fair, just because, like I said in the previous video for the Sport, you've got all this space. Let me show you all this space up here which you're not utilizing, and the information that you need down the bottom is relatively small, like the puff counter, the ohms and the battery indicators and the amps that it draws. That is very, very small and difficult to see if you've got eyes like me. So it's the same as before. Up and down buttons turn your power up and down. Obviously, when you go and push the menu button, like if you just push it, it will accessorize the screen. If you watch the dial, changes color. So there you can see the colors changing. I do like that feature, I really do. It's just, that is a good feature, and I'm liking that thing. But if they could have incorporated this tiny little writing to be a bit bigger, so we'll be able to actually see. It's that small that the camera has trouble focusing on it. So yes, so let's go into the menu. Push and hold the menu button, which is here. Push and hold brings you into the menu. Let's see if I can actually try and get this to focus. I'm having a very difficult time for it to do that. So anyway, so to cycle through the menu, use your up and down arrows, then you cycle through the menu. So the first one we have is power mode, then we have the bypass mode, so you can put it straight on bypass and it'll adjust everything for you according to what you've got on the top. You've got the preheat mode. I'm presuming that's to do with like the ramp up time and stuff like that. Maybe it equals to like the hard mode, soft mode. Oh yeah. Anyway, so then we have, I do apologize about the blurriness of this screen, but there's nothing that I can do. Like I try and get it, it focuses, and then any slight movement, because it's so small, it just goes off. But as you can see, it is actually focused on the mod really well. It's just that the screen's so small. So after that we have, what do we have? The color mode. So you can change the color mode. So to select a menu, you move up and down. You don't use the menu button now because you're already in there. What you do is you push fire and it selects your menu, and then you can use the arrow buttons to change up and down, and as you can see it's changing color. So that's what we do. Push the menu again, goes back one. Push the fire button, it goes back to the previous menu. Next menu down we have dashboard, so you can change the dashboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the dashboards and then let's see the difference in them, shall we? So dashboard, one, hold, select, yes, select. Then we're going to just push the menu button for 2 seconds and it takes us out, and there we go, that's dashboard one there. So let's hold it, go back into dashboard, let's change to dashboard 2. Hold it, select it, yes, select it, menu button, back out. Let's have a look. To me, don't seem any different. Oh, it is slightly different on this bit here. It is ever so slightly different. Nothing to write home about. So menu, dashboard, yes, change it to dashboard 3, yes, yes, accept it, back out the menu with the other button. And there we go, the clock's changed slightly, so rather than a needle this time, it goes up in a solid block around the edge. So yes, that's that. So let's go back into the menu, hold the menu button down, select the desired menu. The next menu, what do we have? Display mode. So let's check the display mode out. Okay, so that it gives you 10 seconds, 30 seconds, or always on. I know you can't read this and I do apologize, but you're just gonna have to take my word on it for this one. So then we push the menu button to go back to the previous menu. Next one we have is the brightness of the screen. So select it and then you've got the dial. Use your up and down dials as you can see. Okay, so from about this point to the top it doesn't change. So well, it did a little bit, but only ever so slight. It does more of the change from down the bottom here, the last sort of few settings. That's where it's more noticeable. So as you get from about this point, you don't really notice the change. Not really. Menu to go back. So you can set the time. You can enter the time manually. Obviously using your up and down arrows, it cycles. It round robins, I think. Yes, it does. So you select your time. So just imagine they're all 00. Oh, just imagine they're all 00. You can cycle all the way through, and they round robin from from 0 to 9. It just keeps going. You set your time that way. That's that. And the next one is factory reset. So just move it down. It asks you, do you want a factory reset? Also, it gives you the version number of the software in this menu. So if you want to find out your version number, go into factory reset, click the menu button to enter the factory reset, and then you'll find out your version number. I'm going to select no here, push and hold the fire button, brings me back. And then the last one, if you select it, is turn off. Let's select it. Let's turn it off. Yes, only because now what I want to do is I want to compare. That was the advanced menu. I just want to go and have a look at the basic menu just to see what the differences are, see if there's any noticeable differences. So we're going to click 5 times on. There we go. And now I'm going to select basic. Highlighted in red is the basic one now. Push and hold the menu. There we go, basic. Now let's hold this menu button down for 2 seconds. 1, 2. There we go. Okay, so yes, it is very noticeable. It does actually take away a lot of the menus. So we have color mode, dashboard mode, display mode, brightness, time setting, factory reset, and turn off. So very, very basic in that sort of sense. In all honesty, there's not a lot of difference between the pair. You ain't gonna get no better functionality out of using the advanced user to the basic user. It's still gonna do what it does, and that is push the button, it's gonna vape. select your wattage and whatnot. So now, without further ado, let's take you back up to the top. So yes, we're back at the top. So like I was just saying, we're gonna keep this quite uniform from the previous test that we've done on the Sport. So I'm gonna use the same tank, the same dripper, and the same mouth to lung RTA, just so we've got like quite a uniform sort of testing bench, if you like, on how they conform. What is the fuck is conform?
Why the father fucking fuck?
So we're going to use like the same tanks and dripper that I used before, just so we've got a level playing field, and we're going to see how they perform like against each other. Although this one is a 200-watt mod. So yeah, this one is the 200-watt mod. Oh yeah. And the other one was a 101-watt mod. Having said that, it's got the same chip, but the other one was a built-in 4200 milliamp hour battery, where this takes two 18650s. So what I have noticed on here straight away, there is a rattle, and I don't know where it's coming from, and it's getting on my nerves. I'm sorry, I've got to say that. Like, I just don't like a mod that rattles. Like, you know, when you get a mod, you don't expect it to rattle. Like, it's just one of them niggly piggly things that
You motorboating son of a bitch.
with this one, the shape looks good, but in all honesty, I am not feeling this shape. Just because it, like, when you hold it there, you want it to be like quite ergonomic. This one's quite bulky. You see this little bit here? That's a bump. That should be a dent for your middle finger or a finger to fit in there, where it's not. It's a raised bump, so when I put my fingers down, it feels quite uncomfortable. The way in which this mod is set out and you hold it, the fire button is very, very uncomfortable in that position for me. Like, as opposed to the Sport, just because of the shape of it, the button was in the perfect place. Now this has got a different shape because obviously it's a different mod. The button does not work well in that position. I'm not gonna lie to you. For me, it feels very, very uncomfortable. I don't know what that rattling noise is, but that is kind of getting on my nerves. As a whole, the mod looks really good. Like, now if it performs good, then hopefully, like, you know, I can come up with some decent cons about this. So another fault that I found, like, the battery door is just like quite loose. I done it earlier, I don't know if I can do it now. I'm doing it the wrong way, literally. So I'm holding the mod. I like to hold the mod at the bottom and whatnot, and like, I've just got next to no power, and look, it opens up. I don't know what that is. Maybe they can make that a bit tighter, I'm not sure. But look, one little finger, and I'm not hardly doing, and I've got trouble to put it back on with the same finger. But literally, look, this is, oh, my little finger. Well, not my little finger, but it just, it's so very like light to touch, and it's open. So I can see that being a problem, in all honesty. Like, I just, let's see if I can do it with the little, yeah, even the little finger does it, and I'm not even doing any, all I'm doing is just moving my finger and it's grabbing it, and it's opening straight away. So maybe that issue needs to be addressed, because the last thing you want to be doing is doing something, bodging into someone, you squeeze the mod and it comes out, and then bang, your batteries are out. No, that is not a good thing, if I'm honest. So let's put these batteries back in. Let's get the Prince tank, the TFV12. Same tank as I used yesterday in the previous video for the other mod. In all honesty, it does actually look quite nice. The only thing is, I'm not feeling the shape of this one. I really am not feeling the shape. It makes it uncomfortable for the button. Like, my thumb has, it's just the way in which it sits in my hands. The thumb doesn't like catch the whole button properly, and for me to have my thumb there is very, very, very uncomfortable. To have it trigger finger way, it feels uncomfortable with this bulge in the middle here. Like, it feels quite uncomfortable, and I've got the way I have my fingers, it's either below or above. When it's above, my fingers are stretched out in the middle. It doesn't feel comfortable, but I can hit the button better there. So like, I don't know why, but I tend to have my fingers below the bulge just because it feels nicer and you're not in the way of any of these other like menu buttons there, like the turn the power up and down, or the menu button there. But then I've got to really stretch my trigger finger to reach that top button there. I'm not feeling like that. I am left-handed. It just, to me, I just don't know. Like, if you're gonna vape it and try and hold it like this and then use your thumb, that's the only way you can get the button to feel comfortable. But then the rest here is just not feeling comfortable because I'm trying to grip it. Like, it just doesn't seem to be working out for me, in all honesty. Even like trying to fit this lump in this bit of a dent here for my thumb, it just doesn't do it for me. It just feels so uncomfortable. So this is a T10 coil, and it's best between, well, it's from 60 to 120, it's best between 80 to 110. At 50, it's not doing like nothing. It's not vaporizing the juice properly. I can feel it gurgly, and there's next to nothing coming off vapor wise. So now let's turn this up to 60, best between, on the coils recommended. So let's have a go. Nothing really there. So now I'm going to turn it up to 80. There we go, 80. Let's have a hit now. That's better. The low power range on these, I don't think the Power Rangers seem to be true is what they are. I would actually love to know a way how I can get a mod onto say like say 60 watts to see if it is actually putting out 60 watts. I would actually love to know how I could do that. I'm sure someone can drop me a comment to see if there is a way for me to do it without me going out spending untold amount of money on oscilloscopes and special power meters and stuff. I would love to figure that out. So that was at 80 watts. So now let's just ramp this up. So let's ramp this up to 100 watts. Bearing in mind this is a 200 watt device. So here we go. $100 performs better, but in all honesty, again, it feels like it's about 75 watts. Like, I just don't feel like it is 100 watts that I'm getting compared to other devices that I've used. Don't get me wrong, I've used a lot of devices also. So with that being said, let's take this up a little bit now and use the dripper, wherever it is. Where is my Bonza? Let's have a look, see if I can find it. I should have had it all set up, but yes, I know. So let's have a look. Where the fuck is my Bonza gone? It was on the Rev Sport. Here it is. Excuse the squeaky chair. I am gonna have to get a new one. Right. So this is the Bonza with the Shane Wiseman alien building there. My camera game's just total crap. It really is. I need to learn some shit. Right. So this is Air Factory strawberry kiwi. Let's drip some of this on there, nice good dollop. This is still at the 100 watts, which was on for the TFE 12, so let's hit this up. In all honesty, doesn't feel like 100 watts. I'm going to ramp this straight up to 150. Let's have a look how this performs. 0.1 of the increments, there we go. 150 watts. That feels like a good 120 watts, 110 watts. Doesn't pack the punch, so to speak. Doesn't feel like it's 150 watts. Let's take this all the way to the top. There we go. We're at a full 200 watts. I don't know if you'll be able to see that because there you go. It did so, yeah. So now that to me feels about 150 watts there. It does. I don't know whether like the updates of the firmware have changed it any, but that there is 200 watts. It is quite feisty, I ain't gonna lie. But to me it feels like a more like 150, 160 watts. It doesn't feel like it's a full 200 watts. I mean, look. I can hit that quite long. Like on any other 200 watts, you wouldn't be able to hit it that long. You really wouldn't. So now let's go down to the other end of the scale. If I can get this off. I don't know what's going on here with this 510. There we go. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go right down low to about 16 watts. That's what I'm gonna do. And the reason being for this, I'm gonna put my Vape Berserker MTL on there because I've been using that a little while for my Nick salts. And obviously I've got it on another mod. I'm not going to name the other mod, but I've got it on another mod and I know how it performs on that. So let me do a comparison. Right. So I'm not going to show you what the other mod is. So that was the other mod. So at 16, that actually looks really nice. I can't deny it. I'm actually liking the look of that. I really am. It just looks nice, but it's just not ergonomic enough for me. It's quite big, it's quite bulky. I can feel everything getting warm while I was just hitting it. Like, it's getting warm on the front here. I suppose where the chips are and that. It's getting very warm. So I was just hitting that at 200 watts. So it was straining that chip. It was pushing it to its capacity. But obviously, in hindsight, you're not going to get a true 200 watts out of a 2-battery 18650 mod anyway. That's going to have like step-ups and capacitors that release the charge and stuff like that. So that's, you're never going to get a full true 200 watts out of a 2-battery mod. So without further ado, now let's hit this up. So this is on the 16 watts. It just it just doesn't feel like it's 16 watts. It really doesn't. Not compared to what I was just doing there. Let me check my airflows open. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. As an MTL, same as the Sport, as an MTL, it performs alright. So that's at 16 watts. So now let's turn this up. So let me turn this up to like 25 watts. Let's see how it performs then. There we go. 25. So that 25 feels more like the 16 on the other device that I was using. Yes. So to me, I feel that I don't know, the wattages with the chipset that's in here, they're not quite as accurate as what they should be. In all honesty, if truth be told, this performs more like a 150 watt device. But obviously all the numbers are thrown out just because of the wattage range. Like, I don't feel that, like I said, I've just tried 16 watts on another device. I'm not going to tell you what the other device is, but I know, personally, I know that that device, it's accurate. I know that. Whereas this one, I've had to put it up to like 25 watts to get the same sort of effect that I'm getting on the other device as 16 watts. And it performs about the same. So that's 25 on that one. Now let me go back to this one. And this is on 16 watts. Bearing in mind this is an MTL, it has got Nick salts in there. It performs more or less the same, but the wattages are totally different. When I tried this one on 16, it just didn't feel like it was hitting like this one on 16. I had to turn it up to 25 to get the same sort of effect. So, with that being said, let's go through the pros and the cons. Pro, I like the look of it. It actually looks quite nice. If this dent here would have been a concave rather than a convex, it would have fit in the nut and the hand a lot better, and the trigger button where it is would have felt a lot better. So pros, shape of it's nice, color's nice. I like the black, the white on black. It looks really good. Maybe they could have changed the button to white as well, just to make it look a bit more like accessorized, so to speak. Yes, so it looks nice. I like the color of it. I like the idea that you can change the color of the dial, so you can accessorize that with any tank that you've got on there. You can change the O-rings in the tank or the drip tip, and that'll accessorize it a little bit. I do like that. Charging port is quite high. To me, charging port being on the side, that's a pro, rather than charging port at the bottom or at the bottom here. I like it, so it's quite high, so it's away from everything. That's another con there for me. Pro, sorry. So yeah. So let's run through the pros and the cons of this. So pro for me, it looks nice. I like the color, the white on black. I like the fact that the buttons are big enough and you can use them all with one movement of the thumb. I like that the fact that the charger port is on the side higher than at the bottom, not on the bottom. I also like the fact that you can accessorize and change the dial color, so you can accessorize it with O-rings and drip tips. That's just a little thing I just like. So yeah, cons for me on this one, got a rattle to it. I don't know where the rattle's coming from. I just cannot work out where it's coming from. It sounds like it's coming from inside the top bit here somewhere, but it's not. It's not the buttons, because I'm holding all them and it's not that. So that's a con. Shape of it, con. With it being convex there rather than concaved, like, I just don't like the way in which it feels. Battery door, also another con for me. It's a very big issue when you can just do that with your little finger and it opens up the door. Like, that is just, that's a big con for me. Like, I just cannot be, like, you know, thinking, is my battery door going to come over? Oh, open. Just like that. There you go. So that was just in the log cabin. Imagine what the disaster would be like if you're on the street. That would have damaged my batteries without a shadow of a doubt, because they would have hit the floor. Luckily, they've hit like the soft wood of my counter here and the build mat. If that was on the street, that would have damaged batteries. Say if you're traveling on a bus or something like that, okay, you're not going to be vaping on the bus, but say if you've got it on in your hand ready to get off the bus, and as soon as you get off you're going to have a vape and that door opens, they're going to be rolling around the bus like nobody's business. You're going to miss your stop or something like that, or you know, you're going to potentially lose a battery. So yeah, that is another con for me. But having said that, I do like the look of the device. It's just a pity that it's not ergonomic enough for my hands. I've got sausage fingers. That's what my kids tell me anyway. Oh, you've got fat sausage fingers. Like, it just feels uncomfortable where I have to like have my fingers placed. So my finger placement is quite difficult to get comfortable. It just, I don't know, it just feels a bit too bulky for what it is. Going back to the pros, I think, you know, another pro that I should have added on there, it's going to be good at low wattage. Obviously, you've got to figure out, like, for me, the 16 watts, I had to put it up to about 25 watts to get, like, the 16 watts on another device that I had. So, all in all, I'd probably give this one also a 5 out of 10. There's just a few issues that need addressing. Maybe in firmware updates they can address the screen thing, because that's another con for me. Having the information indicators, like the icons and the symbols or whatever, they need to be bigger. I need to be able to see them more, not like get right up close to it. I need to be seeing, like, my power that I'm on. I need to be seeing that, like, because at a glance, say, although you shouldn't be having like your stuff in your pockets turned on and whatnot, but I'm the sort of person that holds my mod and puts it in my hoodie pocket like that. And if I'm pushing, like, if I push a button, like, I want to be able to come out and have a look and see it without like having to focus on it and like intensely like concentrating to see what sort of thing that I've just done. I want to be able to see the power in big numbers. I want to be able to see the ohms in big like numbers. Battery indicator, I want to be able to see that more clearly. Like, these are fundamental important things that you need to be seeing big. You've got a lot of wastage like screen space up there with the concept of having the the taco rev meter up there. It's a good thing. I like that. I do like that, but you need to sort out, if you can, in a firmware update, to still have that there, but like move up the digits or increase the font size and place them a little bit better or something like that, just so it makes it more practical to be looking at the screen. So yes, there we go. I just feel that it's lacking the punch. The same with the Sport up there. Next to come up is the Rev GTS. It seems a lot better. I've just got to say that. It seems a lot better. So without further ado, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you very much for watching me. It's Jay, LVC Reviews. Vape on, vape safe, keep it cloudy. Thank you very much.